Alright, hello everyone and welcome to 10 Minute Tasting. My name is Adam Hanover. I'm the store manager at Rowes Wharf in downtown Boston, as well as the Area 72 Barista Champion for 2015. This is my weekly web show in which every Tuesday I bring on a special guest to have a coffee tasting. Today's going to be a little bit different because with the Frappuccino Spark event starting this Thursday, I thought it might be a really cool idea to teach the recipe so that everybody is prepared for it when we roll in. So I brought with me today a special guest from my store, barista trainer, and as all of you may or may not know, I am retired from Barista Champion as of this year after winning last year, so my store is going to have a new champion this year. And guess what? He's standing right behind me, Mr. Danny Venn. Danny, hey. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey.
All right, so Danny is our barista trainer. He's also, as I mentioned, he's our barista champion for this year. So what we're going to do is I'll talk you through how to make the Frappuccino. I'll talk you through how to make the whipped cream that goes with it, because that's new this year. And Danny will be making it behind me as I talk, so you'll be able to see it. So Danny, what I'm going to ask you to do is kind of keep it visible to the camera while we're making it while I talk them through. Does that sound good, everyone? All right, so first step, we're going to make the whipped cream. So as you know, raspberry changed this year. Raspberry no longer has artificial coloring in it. So in order to make the whipped cream, we can't just use raspberry syrup anymore because it's just gonna look like regular whipped cream. So we got these little packets of pink powder sent to us. So there's a special way to make the whipped cream this year, and I'm gonna have Danny go through it right now. So for anyone who doesn't know how to make this whipped cream that hasn't seen the recipe card, the first step is just like a regular whipped cream. You're gonna grab your steaming pitcher. 8 pumps of vanilla are going to go into the bottom. Keep in mind it has to be full pumps. You want to go all the way down and all the way up with the pumps to make sure we get the same amount of flavor. Step 2 is different. We're going to add the pink powder. Now these packets are not reorderable because we only have 4 days for this event, so please don't lose them. Now after the powder goes in, we're going to fill whipping cream up. And anybody who's watching, do you know what line on the pitcher we go to with the whipped cream? Danny, where do we go to?
We go to the max line.
The max fill line right above venti is where we're going to go with the heavy cream. Now we're going to take a bar spoon and we're going to stir it all together so all the pink coloring mixes all the way through. Just want to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom. We want to make sure that there's no clumps of pink powder in anybody's drink. And Danny, if you want to tilt it a little bit to the camera so they can see kind of what it should look like here. Beautiful, nice pink coloring. I'm going to grab a sanitized towel to wipe off this ice bin.
My bad.
Okay, so from here we're going to pour right into our whipped cream canister. And while Danny is starting to pour into the whipped cream canister and make the whipped cream, I can point out to you, this is what your date dot should look like. The label should say pink whip so that you know which kind of whipped cream it is, and it's dated for 24 hours. Always got to be prepared. Make sure you thoroughly rinse out your pitcher and rinse out your steaming spoon. Use a dairy pitcher, not a non-dairy pitcher.
I'm a mechanical engineer by background. I prefer industrial practice. You can
mix it up there. Now, as Danny's actually making and shaking the whipped cream, one detail that I can share with everyone is we just found out today that Frappuccino Happy Hour is going to start 3 days early this year. So it was originally scheduled for May 6th through the 15th. It's now May 3rd through the 15th. So we are going to roll directly from the Birthday Cake Frappuccino right into Frappuccino Happy Hour. So even though it is unseasonably cold right now and rainy and kind of gross, using this Spark event as a chance to kind of communicate with the customers about, hey, we've got Frappuccino Happy Hour starting in a couple days. That is a really cool idea to try to help drive some sales. So now we've got the whipped cream. You'll notice the whipped cream is laying on its side on the counter. That allows Danny to label the bottom of it. Have you shaken good? Yeah. We all set? All right. So Danny is going to make the Frappuccino now, and then we'll top it up. So I'm going to talk you through the steps of the Frappuccino. It's very simple.
I think
It's pretty much just a hazelnut vanilla bean frappuccino with this whipped cream. So Danny's gonna go whole milk to the bottom line.
But probably shouldn't count on them for a second when it happens. And when it happens repeatedly, then you can start mentally bucketing.
There you go.
All right, and then we're directly into the dairy pitcher.
Most people.
The next step of the frappuccino, we're going to put the flavors in. So 1 pump of hazelnut, because we're making it tall and we don't have CBS pumps for hazelnut at our store. So if you have the CBS pump that looks like this bad boy, you're going to put 2 pumps in a tall. If you have the hot bar pump that looks like this, only 1 pump in a tall. Now that Danny's gone and put the hazelnut in, we're going to put in 2 scoops of vanilla bean powder, slightly rounded scoops to make sure that we have the right amount. Now the next 2 steps, the order is actually important. For those of you that don't know, we're going to go ice first. Level scoop, and you don't want to use bridged ice. Even being off by 2 to 3 ice cubes is enough to change the consistency of a frappuccino. The last step is the frappuccino syrup. We're going to use cream base. The reason cream base goes in at the very The reason why cream base goes in at the very end and not before that is for the consistency of the blended beverage, to make sure that it gets allocated throughout the entire beverage itself. So now we're going to blend this bad boy up. You excited for it, Danny? Have you had it yet?
I had it last year.
Okay. You a fan?
Pretty good.
For those of you watching that know Danny, Danny just got a haircut for the first time in a long time, and it looks great. But I gotta say, it seems as though there's a rule at Rowes Wharf that if you don't have a wacky haircut, you can't be barista champion here. Because this is now 2 straight years of people with wild hair winning, and that's myself I'm calling out on that one.
My hair was like down to here before.
Yeah, Danny's hair was quite long before. So look at that consistency. It comes out perfect because he made it right according to recipe. So now the last step, Danny's going to put some whipped cream on top of this beverage. And one thing that you might be able to notice if I bring the camera close enough, look at how good that whipped cream comes out. One of the reasons is the decorating tip on top of the whipped cream has no parts broken off of it. All of the little pieces of that whipped cream canister are functioning properly. You can order a bag of decorating tips off of IMS for your next roasting plant order if you have broken decorating tips. It makes a big difference on making a frappuccino look beautiful. Danny, that looks great. I think I'm gonna make one now so that we could share them together. How's that sound?
Sounds really good.
Awesome. So I have another cup. Again, happy with an exclamation mark is the label, and you know, it kind of makes me happy to see that label because that's pretty fun.
It sounded like Vito did.
I'm gonna put in my vanilla bean.
I'm sure you. Yeah, so we
Call a scoop of ice. My cream base.
and exactly the same. You pulled together.
And then we're gonna blend this bad boy up. Again, keep in mind this recipe is really only going to be advertised for 5 days here at the end of the week. So make sure you know the recipe going into the first day. It's going to be on the daily offerings board. You're going to want to make sure that you're ready and prepared to serve our customers. Drive those sales. See if I could put as perfect of whipped cream on as Danny did. How's that? Looks beautiful, right?
There were a few. They were like first person.
I'm not even going to put a lid on mine because this looks great, just like that. You want to take the first sip?
Sure.
All right.
My view is like
First birthday cake frappuccino of the year. Fantastic. The second year we've had this recipe. Last year was for the anniversary of Frappuccino being born. This year it's just one of our Frappuccino Spark events. We're going to try to do very similar tasting every time we have a Spark event. We have 2 more coming up in the next couple of months. Be prepared on the Tuesday before the Spark event launches on a Thursday. I'll get this recipe out there. For those managers watching, for those DMs watching, whatever, feel free to send your partners on the show 2 days before the Spark event launches. You don't have to do as much training in your store. If you're an SFM in the teaching and training bucket, hey, utilize this as a training tool. By all means. I just had a customer come up to me literally right before I signed on to the show and saw me with my tripod and my camera, and he said, hey, I stumbled on your show on YouTube and I thought it was really cool. So even customers are getting in on it. So partners, if you're not getting in on this, I think you're really missing out. I want to say good luck to Danny at the Barista Championships next month. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to Rowes Wharf having 2 straight area champions. Come at me, bro. Someone. And since it's such a rainy, drizzly, cold Tuesday afternoon in the spring, I hope everyone stays warm. Even a cold Frappuccino can't get my mood down on a day like this, because this is delicious. Everybody enjoy the beginning of Frappuccino Happy Hour, and have a great day, everyone.